And back at Rugby League headquarters here at the Olympic Stadium, we're about to celebrate the end of 105 years of Rugby League in Australia. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ray Warren, joining the commentary team now, as we stand by with great expectation for the clash that might turn out to be one of the great battles of grand final football. Melbourne led out by Cameron Smith, and of course Canterbury on the other side of the equation. For Melbourne, officially they've won just the one premiership, even though they've won 3 grand finals. 2 premierships were taken for breaches of the salary cap. But Melbourne have flocked to Sydney today in much bigger numbers than I thought was ever possible. They occupy probably something like 20% of the stadium down at the southern end. It's a magnificent sight as Cameron takes them out. Crowd of just over probably 82,000 people. The record stands at around 82,500 here to see what is in many ways a unique grand final. As Michael Ennis prepares to take the Bulldogs out, they will get a rousing reception. As I said, about 80% of the crowd out here are dressed in blue and white, and there will be an enormous roar go up from the Bulldogs faithful. Michael and his team are about to enter the stadium. Can they win their first premiership since 2004? Will they make it their 9th premiership ever? They too have had their problems a decade ago. They had their premiership points wiped away, and that stopped them winning that premiership that year. So here's Canterbury about to come out. They've been to 17 premiership deciders. No club has won more than them in the last 3 decades. 4 times they've won in the 80s, then in 95, and most recently, as I said, in 04. On the other hand, no club has been to as many grand finals as Melbourne in the last 7 years. Today makes 5 from 7. Ironically, though, they played here only the once in the last 3 years. It's a stat that hasn't been given a lot of attention, but only once have they been here in the last 3 years to Rugby League headquarters. That was a regular season competition game against South Sydney. And the last time these 2 clubs met each other here was back in 2007. Canterbury in their own backyard. This is their home ground. They make a habit of winning here. They've won their last 10 in a row here. They've won 15 of their last 16 overall. So from the air, that's what it looks like here at ANZ Stadium. The national anthem is about to be sung. The players line and look towards the western stand. Not a cloud in the sky over the harbour city as we pause for the national anthem.
She was absolutely amazing on Channel 9's The Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Australia to be performed by Sarah De Bono.
Rejoice, for we are young and free.
talk of the voice, and that is a voice. Sarah De Bono at the grand final of 2012. So the Bulldogs will be guarding the southern end of the ground. And of course, this match highlighted, I guess, by the duel between the number ones. The kid at the back of Canterbury, Ben Barber. It's been a fairy tale journey for the youngster from Mackay. He arrived at Belmore in 2008 on a $15,000 contract, and he worked to supplement that wage working in a car wash at Yagoona. The bloke at the other end of the park is Billy Slater, perhaps the best fullback the game has ever seen. His 5th grand final for the Storm, and while Barber was washing cars, this bloke was riding racehorses in track work as the Madden brothers show off the Probyn Summons Trophy that symbolises the best team in rugby league each and every year. Melbourne then go through their final instructions, probably delivered, I would imagine, by Cameron. Remember back to Thursday, March the 1st? It was a bumper crowd. It was a capacity crowd at Hunter Stadium to see Wayne Bennett's Knights take on Stephen Price's St George Illawarra. It was a full house that night. It's a full house tonight. From the first day of March to the last day of September. The grand final is about to kick off.
Right, boys. Right, here we go.
Canterbury running towards the southern end of the park in front of a crowd up near 83,000 people. And Melbourne with Brian Norrie bringing it back 15 metres away from that side, that try line, and over towards the eastern sideline. So Canterbury will do all they can to slow Melbourne's play the balls down. Bromwich it was, taking it ahead, grimacing as he took the brunt of the tackle from Tolman and from Jackson, and now it's with Hoffman. So the first set of 6 of the grand final, with Smith going out from dummy half, and Eastwood it was who desperately went across to cut him down. Right in the middle of the park, and it goes to the boot of Cronk now, and Cooper puts the kick down towards Barber. Barber from his own 10-metre line, brings it out to the 20, and he's brought down and tackled over there by the Melbourne centre 3-quarter, Will Chambers. So Canterbury, with their first set, Jonathan Wright, who played in the New South Wales Cup winning side last year. And now it's with Josh Reynolds, who will play the ball on the 30-metre line. One of the revelations of the season is Reynolds, as it comes back to Tolman, and Tolman to play the ball. James Graham will come from the bench, his lookalike, in his 7th consecutive grand final. Here's Reynolds now, and then Inu is clamped and then takes a shoulder charge towards the kidney area as Keating rakes a kick away, and it goes down to Nielsen in the deep, and he goes immediately on to Slater. So Slater comes back towards Neil. Oh, Barber, was it Barber? No, in fact it was Sam Perrott who was trying to get an intercept and go in to score a try, and it would have been easy for him.
And they don't show a lot of passes in Melbourne Storm down this end of the field when they're bringing it out, as they're doing now through Wonga. But this pass from Billy Slater, Sam Perrott, he read it, threw the right arm out, looked like he had it, but out it came. They were scared there for Melbourne, who bring it out through Bromwich, just as they did in the opening set, through that middle third of the field.
So the front rowers make the tackle, Tolman and Cassiano, as the ball goes to Cronk and down to Proctor, and Proctor, and jumper number 15, will play the ball just inside the Canterbury 40-metre line. Back for the captain, and it goes away to, in the headgear, Todd Lowry in jumper number 13. 28 metres out, down the middle of the ground. Cronk on the short side. It rolls down there gently into Barber, and Barber goes to ground wisely in the field of play. I thought for a moment they might have been able to force him back into the in goal. Josh Morris is with the ball now. Ennis giving the ball to Sam Perrott, one of the 3 mid-season transfers of players involved in this grand final.
It was a really good run from Sam Perrott. They were in trouble. He picked up 15 metres, got a good play the ball, a quick play the ball, and that allowed Cassiano and then Pritchard to get close to the 40.
Played by Pritchard, and it's gone to the boot of Reynolds now, and he puts it down towards Slater, inside his own 20-metre line. Slater comes away and he steps and he beats Inu, and he steps and he beats Jackson. He comes then to Tolman and he's put down by Tolman and Eastwood. Play near the halfway line, play back to Nielsen, and the number 5 is Wonga for the Storm, and it'll be played just outside the 40-metre line. O'Neill it is in fact who plays the ball, and now it goes on to Lowry, and Lowry is picked up and driven into the ground by Eastwood. So Wonga playing on the right side, and O'Neill on the left, and there's Hoffman picked up in a good tackle and rolled over and tackled by Reynolds. Cronk it is, he goes hard, oh, he runs into a shoulder from Inu. How do you do? My name is Krishnan Inu. Now it's gone onto the boot of Buildup, and it goes high, and Jonathan Wright goes up. It came off him, it came down to a player who's in front of him.
We're coming back, but Ben Barber is still racing away to what he thinks is the opening points of the game. I don't think there's any doubt at all that Jonathan Wright touches his football. And Chris and Inu, both sets of outside backs will need to make good decisions this afternoon. And they have already, and Kristen Inu, after Cooper Cronk travelled a long way to come around the short side, met his match. So who's touched it first, Wonga or Wright?
Knock on first off Jonathan Wright.
Well, if it's a knock-on by Jonathan Wright, it should be a penalty to the Melbourne Storm because everyone else was in front of him.
Well, that's the way I saw it, and that's how I called it. It went down to a Canterbury player in front of him, and they're preparing to pack a scrum.
Well, it should be a penalty kick to the Melbourne Storm, and that would be the greater advantage because it's a chance at points. Here's up they go. Jonathan Wright gets his hands to that, and the ball will come forward to a teammate in front of him. That's a penalty.
I think what he's ruled has come off Jonathan Wright and touched an opposing player, therefore it's a scrum. That's the first breach. That's what he's done. He said it's come off Wright and gone into an opposing player, and that's the first breach. So it's a knock on. And here's Proctor, who'll play the ball 10 out in the middle of the ground. Playing it to Cameron Smith, and the first big opportunity comes to Melbourne. Here's Hoffman! Hoffman goes for the line and he gets it over there. Hoffman has scored, I fancy. The referee points to the spot. Melbourne 4, Canterbury yet to score.
And they have hit the ground running, the Melbourne Storm. One of their pet plays, left fringe, Ryan Hoffman, scored in this fashion against Parramatta back in 2009. It went to the first runner. Kristen Inu went up on the outside, expecting for the ball to go that way, and that opened the hole up for the try scorer.
While we're in the break, a big welcome to our audience is taking us right round the world, and to you people on P&O cruises, welcome aboard. Welcome back to the grand final, and we've got our first points on the board after 7 minutes of play. This man who was at Melbourne, he was one of those that had to be downloaded during that turbulent period for them. And he's back with them, and they are so glad that he is. I think he's playing in his 4th grand final today for the Melbourne Storm, Ryan Hoffman.
I had visions all week of the Parramatta Storm grand final a few years ago where Melbourne Storm targeted Robson and young Daniel Mortimer on the edges, and I think that Keating and Reynolds are going to get a real workout this afternoon. Already it's produced points.
10 metres in from touch and 20 metres out. Cameron Smith, who didn't kick well last week, and he misses with his first attempt today. Wally Lewis is on the sideline today.
Yes, first points on the board. Our clean-up with Keno will just show you a very clever angle that was run from Hoffman. Cleverly charged into a gap where all of the defenders were expecting the ball to go to a second-man play, perhaps Billy Slater, but he did very well. I've got to say, he's probably feeling quite good about himself now, Hoffman. He lost his boots on Thursday and thought it was going to be bad luck. Well, it hasn't been that sort of start to the game.
So we go back and do what we did some 8 or 9 minutes ago. And Brian Norrie brings it out of the corner. He's met in a solid tackle by the two props again, Tolman and Cassiano, and here's Bromwich with a struggling run. Peter.
Good charge from Bromwich. We saw there in the try why Gareth Widdop is the perfect foil for Cooper Cronk. He can act as a ball player, but he also runs the football beautifully. Got dazzling footwork, Gareth Widdop. But that time, a lovely pass, held up pass for Ryan Hoffman.
And James Graham, it appears, will come into the game fairly soon. He has been coming on early into the games, normally to replace Sam Cassiano, as the ball is kicked by Cronk and it's going down to Barber. Oh, it's gone straight through the net. And it's gone dead.
Well, that's good work from Cooper Cronk, and that's exactly what you want to do to an opposing fullback in the early stages of a big game. I made mention last week that South Sydney didn't do enough of this, and I know Ben Barber's been great under the high ball for a while, but you can't catch them all. And Cooper Cronk has got the ability to make this ball swing in the air and come down in a very difficult fashion, and Barber has spilled the first one. And that can play on your mind for the rest of the contest. No one pressures fullbacks more than this bloke, Cooper Cronk.
The ultimate professional, Des Hasler, first coach to take different clubs to a grand final, and a little look of worry across the coach's face at the moment as Wonga brings the ball back. That left knee that let him down in Melbourne, heavily taped. Hoffman is with the ball. He's having a brilliant season, Hoffman. And the try, I wouldn't think, surprises too many of the people that watch this game week in and week out. Cronk will play the ball now, 22 metres away from the line. So Smith goes away to Widdop and then to Proctor. And Proctor has a look at the 10-metre line. So 4-0 in favour of Melbourne as it comes from Smith and then goes off Cronk, and Barber takes it dead. Line drop out, then will restart. How many can they withstand?
Yeah, he didn't take any chances there, Benny Barber, and you can't when you've got a player like Billy Slater in the opposition team because he moves so quickly. He'd have loved probably one more bounce, but he could feel Slater looming up. That was Cronk in behind.
Behind the line, Kristen. Stay behind!
A wonderful sight as you look around the stadium. This crowd, as I said, bordering on maximum. As Slater marks the line drop out, and look at Brian Norrie charging back and met by Tolman, who played with Melbourne in the 09 grand final.
Just get up.
Penalty goes against him for not releasing quickly enough.
He's already on the way up, mate.
But he would have been walking forward.
Just let go. Just let go. If he goes forward, I'll let him go back. Don't worry.
He played over 50 games for the
Wait.
Melbourne Storm. Been a great signing for the Bulldogs.
Get off. That's how it is. I told him to let him go. Away you go.
Tony Archer and Ben Cummins, the two referees in this grand final. That was Archer there in conversation with Michael Ennis as Bromwich takes it ahead. Melbourne again with the red light flashing, but the ball goes to ground. Wonga picks it up. Wonga will play the ball 15 metres out. Eventually he's wrestled down by Frank Pritchard in the number 11. And from Smith a dummy half to Cronk, and now to Norrie, and Tolman and Eastwood are there. And they put him down, but they're 9 metres out from the line. Third consecutive set now, and here's Widdop chiming in. Hoffman close to his left hip, but he's put down 3 Canterbury players, putting the 5/8 away. Penalty, Melbourne.
You're falling asleep on him.
Falling asleep on him is the words from Ben Cummins.
Mate, that's too long.
Well, I spoke to Des Hasler during the week, and he said that he needed his team to go with Melbourne. He needed the Canterbury Bulldogs to stay with them. Well, at the moment, a mountain of possession against them. Pressure maintained. Lowry takes the ball forward and goes within a metre.
So Smith going in to the helm, and he goes to Hoffman one more time, and Hoffman is pitchforked into the ground by Canterbury. Now Smith goes behind 2 decoys and goes to Cronk, and Ennis flies across the park and crushes him into the ground. Now Smith behind Proctor. It's with Widdop again, and Keating is extended to make the tackle. Played then by Widdop. Smith, Cronk, dummy to Norrie. Went out looking for Bromwich. He'll play the ball 7 out from the line. This is the last for the men in purple. And Widdop puts in a little kick, but Josh Morris takes it. He's going to be forced in goal. There'll be 4 sets in a row then to Melbourne.
Well, any question as to whether or not we've got the 2 best teams in the competition here today have just been put to rest. The Melbourne Storm attack has been crisp, clinical and executed nearly to perfection. But this Bulldogs defence has refused to yield. I know they've conceded 1, but lesser teams would have conceded 3 or 4 in this barrage. And Des Hasler ruining his disappointment of having to give the ball back to the opposition. But if they can hold them out again, this might be the making of the grand final for the Bulldogs. A lot of pressure on this set of 6 to keep the Melbourne Storm at bay again.
So here we go again. With Brian Norrie carrying the ball back to within 25 metres of the Canterbury line. So 5 tackles from 25 out. And keep in mind, they've now had the ball. This is their 4th set in a row. And Hoffman to play the ball. Scored the first try at the 7th minute of the grand final. And Widdop goes back to Cronk behind Proctor. It's found Slater. And Slater is held by Pritchard and by Wright and put down.
That's great defence.
15 out now. And Smith decides to have a look. And he ran into the hip of Cassiano. Pritchard was low. Penalty Melbourne again.
High tackle, mate. It's clearly a high tackle.
High tackle is the ruling from Archer.
The Melbourne Storm have tapped and run twice now when they've had an opportunity to kick goals. Now Cameron Smith points to the post, and if I'm the Bulldogs, I see that as a victory. This is a mark of respect from Cameron Smith to say, OK, we've thrown everything at you and got nothing. I need to come away with something.
You asked a question, and you know
that's a pretty harsh penalty.
We're asking for quicker rucks.
That's a very harsh penalty. Very harsh penalty. But the fact that Cameron Smith has now pointed to the post, I reckon the Bulldogs can see that as a little victory, that they've held this great side at bay for all those repeat sets of 6.
Well, the Melbourne Storm have had the ball 11 times and they've completed 11 sets. 2 from 3 for the Bulldogs. 6-0, if this goes over, is not a bad result for the Bulldogs, who will love the opportunity to get the ball down the other end of the field.
And in those 3 sets, Peter, that the Bulldogs have had, one of them is Jonathan Wright knocking the ball on tackle 0, so it doesn't really count. They've only had 2 opportunities with the ball to 11 from the Melbourne Storm. And even if Smith kicks this, 6 is a great result for the defence of the minor premiers. They've done really well to hold them out.
16 minutes gone. And Cameron Smith with his 2nd shot at goal for the day, and he's missed it again. And so they're coming away with the ball now, Canterbury. That's called a football you've got in your possession, Canterbury. And it's Reynolds who comes away.
Now it's a massive result for the defence. And listen to the Bulltog crowd get into it now.
Graham is out there, the number 14. 7 consecutive grand finals, 6 of those played in the Super League. And he's won 1 out of 6.
And get used to the look of him. He'll stay out there for the rest of the game now as Tolman takes it forward. That's the 4th tackle, now the 5th. They'll be kicking from just inside their own half through Keating.
Keating, the number 7. Good kick. Billy Slater down on the sideline, getting it away to Wonga. Wonga throws it along the line to O'Neill. And O'Neill will play the ball 12 metres out from his own line. So supreme defence by Canterbury. Holding Melbourne. 4 consecutive sets. Penalty after penalty. Going the way of Melbourne. 3-0 the penalty count in favour of Melbourne. They played precise football, brilliant attacking football, and then Canterbury matched them with the other 50% of our game, which is called defence. And here is Lowry now, taking it up to the middle of the ground for Melbourne. Pulled down by Graham and Ennis, and it's played back to Smith and gone to Cronk, and Cronk gets a kick in just before Ennis puts a tackle on him, and here's Jonathan Wright coming away.
That was better 5th tackle pressure from the Bulldogs there. It didn't allow Cooper Cronk to wind up another one of those big swirling bombs to Benny Barber. He just had to rush his kick down the wing and straight down to Wright. That was good play.
Wonga slow to get up after making that tackle on Josh Morris. Canterbury to play the ball with Graham in the middle of the ground, and it's gone to Eastwood, who's been in superb form. Eastwood then picked up and manhandled to the ground by Cameron Smith and Jesse Bromwich. And here they go, the Polar Bears, and now it goes to Keating, and it goes out to Barber. Barber in from the back, knocked down by Wonga.
Wow.
And they were on their way. Josh Morris was going to be unmarked on the left side.
They were off and gone. You don't see the Melbourne Storm make a misread in defence like this too often, but they got Barber around the outside, and I think it's Will Chambers comes up with a really big play here, or maybe Wonga is it, who comes up from the wing and gets his hand to that ball. Otherwise they were off and gone. Will Chambers came racing in on a decoy runner and left it open out there, and Cecil Wonga has come up with a big play, big defensive play to prevent the try.
Wind in, Jesse.
He saved the day. And I mentioned earlier that the outside backs will need to make good decisions. Well, Will Chambers, he came in. And Ben Barber, as we've seen all season, the speed to get around the outside. The Dogs now in attacking position through Eastwood and Keating.
Keating goes behind Pritchard, and he gets the ball away to Morris, and Wonga again is made to make the tackle 20 metres out. Here's Pritchard, and Pritchard takes it up and is taken by Lowry and Bromwich. Proctor getting involved in the tackle. So now Canterbury firmly on the attack. They're 10 metres out, and Graham is taken 7 away in front of the uprights. Tackler was Proctor. Here's Ennis going deep. Back to Keating, and Keating tries to step off his left foot. But he's tackled on 5 for Canterbury. So where's Reynolds? He's back, and here he is with the ball. He puts the kick out judiciously, and up they go. Melbourne have come down, and going out to the 20 metres is Justin O'Neill.
Yeah, they'll do very well to get over the top of this man with the football now, Justin O'Neill. One of the great athletes in our game. And in the air, he's almost untouchable. It wasn't a great set from the Dogs. They lost their way halfway through it. But at least they saw the southern end of the field and had a chance to introduce themselves.
Lowry then, after Chambers had played the ball. And the 14 is getting ready to come into the game for the Storm. That's Ryan Hinchcliffe. As Gareth Widdop tries to find space. Just over the halfway line they are. Jackson was the tackler, and he lost the ball. It's a knock-on against Melbourne, against Gareth Widdop. The blue and white bunting. They're a very learned crowd when it comes to rugby league. While Canterbury had their backs to the wall and were defending, they knew that what they were doing was as good as scoring tries at the other end of the park.
It's high quality stuff, really, from both sides. And Storm have gone through an incredibly good period here, and the Bulldogs have only conceded 4.
Keating and Reynolds would have knocked on by Sam Perrott on the first tackle, and Melbourne are given the advantage through Norrie.
Well, Melbourne Storm read that perfectly. It was like they'd been to training and seen the Bulldogs rehearse that play, because when Perrott come back on the inside, they nailed him.
There's Norrie again, working tirelessly. He plays the ball inside the 30-metre line when allowed to. And here is Hinchcliffe with his first touch of the ball. Picked up by Eastwood and put into the ground with the help of Graham. Smith gets it away to Cronk, and Cronk will play the ball under the tackle of Tolman and Pritchard. 15 metres out from the line, and Melbourne again. Familiar territory for them as Hinchcliffe runs into Eastwood, and Eastwood rides him into the ground. So Smith sweeps it away to Cronk, who goes looking for Wonga. The jump is on, the bat down, comes down to Cronk. Play on is the call, and Cronk is 2 metres from the line on the 0 tackle. Played back for Jamin Lowe, and the ball bounces away to Smith. Now it goes to Widdop, and Widdop is umbrellaed by Canterbury and sent back in the other direction. So Widdop is 8 metres out from the line. Smith then to the right side, and he goes away to Hinchcliffe, and Hinchcliffe is read well by Pritchard and Keating, and his work is not finished yet. Now he's held up in goal, says Tony Archer.
There you go, Ryan.
He actually got to the line then, Ryan Hinchcliffe. Like they denied him a fair way short.
He's going to call time on.
Back to the 10 metre.
Square.
Just the second tackle. Hinchcliffe plays it. Front, deep, back to Widdop. A missile-like tackle from Reynolds. It's gone out to O'Neill, who steps off his left foot and beats a couple of them. He's beaten 3 of them. He's back in the middle of the ground, O'Neill. He'll play the ball there for Melbourne. Smith it is with the ball. Coming away and putting a little kick in, but Barber read it, took it down on the ground, got up and made a couple of more metres before being tackled by Smith and Hoffman. Now he knew.
And again, that kick was a tribute to the Canterbury defence. It was a last-second decision, a brick wall in front again, so Melbourne thought they'd try and kick their way through.
Well, now that they've got this penalty, the Bulldogs, and they had a chance when they won that previous scrum to say, OK, we've weathered this storm. We really need to get down the other end and put this other side under some pressure. Give them a taste of it. Starve them of the ball for a while and see if they can handle the pressure. The Bulldogs have stood up to it. They've got to find a way to put the blowtorch on the Storm.
Jackson. Play right on halfway. David Stagg. Going on for Greg Eastwood in the Canterbury lineup. There's a ball out the back from Graham to Stagg. 5 metres into Melbourne's territory. It's with Keating and now Pritchard. Pritchard is taken down by 3 of the Melbourne Storm players, including Hinchcliffe over the top. Now it's Graham again. He goes back deep to Reynolds. Reynolds gets away from Lowry, ducks under Widdop, goes inside the 20-metre line and plays the ball quickly. So Canterbury then, it's gone to Inu's boot and Perrott goes after it and does he score?
Oh, yeah.
Sam Perrott, I think, might have a try. I don't even think Billy Slater has stopped this. Now it explodes in the in-goal area. David Stagg and Billy Slater.
Well, certainly Canterbury took offence at Billy Slater, although there didn't seem to be anything untoward as Sam Perrott crossed in the corner. Now it's on. Josh Reynolds throwing them. Sisawonga in there as well.
OK.
Well, I'm almost certain that he scored, Sam Perrott. He's done a great job to gather the football and get it down.
I'm not talking to you.
We might be half an hour finding out. This is going to be a lengthy inquiry here.
Go over there. Take him over there. Take him over. Get him out of there. Hey, he's not talking to me. He said, well, I come and talk to him before I give the try. Go back over there. Ryan, away you go. Away you go.
Yeah, he threw a lot. But he was Talioti, definitely Graham. Yep, and Caesar.
I said I will come to you in a minute. I'm going to the try first.
He wants to see firstly if he's got a try to look at.
I want to check the onside and the grounding first and then see what happens after.
Well, it was a brave play by Canterbury last tackle to go down the short side. I think it was initiated by Michael Ennis.
It was a brilliant little kick from Inu and very, very brave of Perrott, who goes down on this ball despite the attention of Slater. Now, I'm not sure there is anything more either player could do here.
I think it's a try, and I don't think Slater has, if I can use the expression, he hasn't done a Sam Burgess. He hasn't led with his feet. He hasn't led with his knees. And this will be a try, and then they'll go to the investigation as to what happens afterwards. Watch it again. And one of the Canterbury players, Inu, pushes Slater away, and then Stagg puts him in a headlock, basically trying to separate him from Inu.
He gets one in the face.
And then Jamin Lowe and Krishnan Inu, they don't seem to be exchanging Christmas cards either. And then it breaks out between Josh Reynolds and Sisawonga.
Well, it just got into a bit of a brouhaha after that. They were all pushing and shoving. But that's a brilliant pick-up and
God, that's a try.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Inu and Perrott, sensational. And I don't think there's much in this. There's nothing much in that. Not necessary, but hardly any reason to take the try off the Bulldogs. The rest of it is just everyone being in a melee and not sure who's behind them, who's got hold of them, and everything starts to be push and shove and wrestle, and then the grand final flows and someone will throw a punch eventually. I think it's all okay.
When Slater was coming across, his leg was getting in a bad position, but I think he actually realised that and half pulled out of it to avoid that kind of contact. So he's done absolutely nothing wrong.
I think Sam Perrott originally thought that was the problem. Then Inu is obviously of that same opinion, but it was only a gentle push by Inu.
It's nothing.
And David Stagg, all he was trying to do was to take Billy away out of it. And I don't think there was a punch thrown in that combat at all.
It's a try, general caution. Let's get on with it.
It's a nothing. You watch the crowd erupt here, Rabbits, when the try light goes up.
Watch this here. This is where it breaks out away from where the inferno is. These players, they might have some problems, particularly Wonga and Reynolds. They decide to have a bit of a go here.
But again, it's no damage done.
Get on with it. Get on with it. Put the green light up. Let's get on with it.
Well, let's get back to how good this try is.
It's brilliant. A really great try.
Okay, is that who you want?
And the two off-season purchases put it together.
We'll take time off again. Go over there and do it with those. Leave them here, and then we'll go over there.
Here we go. Green light. That's the first thing we want. Green light. Watch the crowd erupt.
Canterbury a level.
In 1 minute. We're going to do it with them first, and then we're going to come back and talk to you. And then I'll come and talk to you. I'm going to go and talk to you. I will go and talk to you in a minute. Who you want?
James Graham's a bloke.
We'll tell him, and then we're going to talk to you in a minute. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Michael, don't worry about it. Michael.
What's happened?
Okay. Benny, you want to talk to him about this? There's an allegation, okay?
Listen to this.
What is it? Right. A biting allegation. We're going to do it with him in a minute.
Listen to this as a biting allegation.
Wait there. You deal with him.
Yeah. There's a bit of push and shove in.
Yeah.
Don't come in, all right? I don't want you saying anything. There's other teams, but don't come in, all right? Leave it alone.
You need to keep your blokes calm. Okay? Go back. Keep them calm. Okay?
Anything you got for it?
Okay. Come out.
Well, surely they're
Billy.
in the same boat.
Billy. Wait here. Just wait here.
This might be about the headlock that David Stagg had on Billy Slater. Listen.
What do you want to make?
A bit in the ear.
Okay. Okay. You see the incident? You see the blood on the ear? Everyone seen that? Right, it's on the record. That incident is on report. That's all you can do. The incident's on report for an allegation of biting. The try stand.
Allegation of biting, the try stands.
And
that goes on report, that incident between, I think, David Stagg and Billy Slater.
I find it hard to believe that they made James Graham come 50 metres to be told that.
Here it is. Here it's James Graham and Billy Slater.
Oh, gee. Well, that wasn't mentioned when he was brought back, but...
Okay, anyway, back to the kick. Inu has brought this kick back nearly 38, 39 metres, which makes it a hell of a long kick from the sideline. There's his try scorer, Sam Perrott. Look at this. He's brought it nearly back to the 30. This is quite extraordinary to open up the angle. But wonderful, wonderful period of football, grand final football there. Brilliant attack from the Storm. Outstanding defence from the Dogs. And then, as is typical of their spirit and their courage, they find a way to hit back and level the scores. And Krisnan with a big, long kick from out wide here.
Incredible, really, this man and the try scorer. They laid this on in the final conclusion, and they were mid-season transfers from the Warriors and the Roosters. Inu's bringing it back. It's gone just wide. So 4-all in the grand final. But it seems like a long time ago we saw some football. That was as lengthy an inquiry as I've seen for a long, long time, certainly in the grand final. Here's the try, head on, Pete.
Yeah, mentioned that it was a very brave decision to go down that side. The Keno replay.
Let's stay behind!
Looked wonderful, and then that doesn't help James Graham's cause there. Anyway, that'll be dealt with later on. Let's get on with play. 4-all. Jonathan Wright going towards the sideline, only 8 out from his own line.
Looked like a bit of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield there, Rabbits.
Pritchard. You might be embellishing the Graham Slater incident just a little, but I do understand what you're trying to say. This is Tolman with the ball, playing it outside 30, and here's Graham. I told you earlier, he's playing in his 7th consecutive grand final, 6 of them in the Super League in England. He won 1 of the 6. And if he does win this one, or even if he loses this one, he's on an allegation of biting Melbourne fullback Billy Slater. Buildup is on the 40-metre line, his own end of the ground. Here's Hoffman.
Ray Price got accused of biting once. He had no teeth, right?
Now Jamin Lowe, 40 metres away from the Canterbury line. Just having to think to myself as they go outside, inside, and Cronk and Smith put it together. They're just outside the 30-metre line, and it's played for Slater to go to Cronk, and Cronk is legitimately taken by Tolman. It's gone down then to Wright, and Wright was on the ground, tried to get up and go again. Might have been better served to stay where he was. There's no damage done. Now Morris loses the ball and it goes into touch. Melbourne will get the next chance.
Well, it was actually a great surge from Morris because they were deep near their own line and they needed someone to come up with a good run, and he did. He made good ground out of the backfield, but maybe a loose carry here has cost him possession. Good strength here, bang, pushes one out of the way, fends away, and another. Starts to surge away a little bit. These are all valuable metres, and the ball is punched from his hand. I don't think playing at the ball, Todd Lowry, but I put that down to a poor carry, a loose carry. And Melbourne Storm, the last time they won a scrum here, scored on play 2.
So Melbourne with a short side play, and Slater it is. Taken down 9 metres out from the line. Smith for Cronk. Cronk then back to Lowry, and Lowry towards the centre of the ground. Taken down by Stagg and Tolman. Now it's to Cronk again. He goes short to Hoffman. And Hoffman is a couple of metres out from the line. Smith swinging it back to the centre of the ground. He picks up Cronk, and then Slater comes in. The ball is out there with Chambers, and he'll play the ball 15 metres out from the line.
That's courageous decision-making in defence there again from the Dogs. Gee, they've been solid.
Lowry then, ring of blue and white jumpers, and this time it's Proctor, and Proctor gets the ball down. On the bounce to Lowry. Lowry again is faced with the same problem, a line or a ring of blue and white jumpers. And he plays the ball, Lowry, 10 metres out, back to Cronk, who kicks, and it's gone wide, and Perrott, he knocks it down. Reynolds was onside. Reynolds is away down the right side. Beautiful chase, ending in Melbourne finishing up with the ball. Gareth Widdop, a great chase and tackle. Penalty Melbourne now.
He's tackled and you come in. Hey, walk away. Walk away. Christian! It's all right.
It was the Melbourne Storm who actually batted the ball back to Josh Reynolds, and Ben Barber was looming back on the inside, but the Englishman Gareth Widdop was able to run down his opposite number. Billy Slater is there as well, and a diving tackle there saved the day, and the ball came loose when he got to the ground. Josh Reynolds.
Gee, it was very close to Sam Perrott knocking that ball forward to Reynolds, I thought. Nevertheless, another exciting passage. We're under 10 minutes to go. What have we got? 8 minutes to go before half-time. This has flown, this game.
That's allowing for the 6-minute stoppage. There's a Black Hawk helicopter been circling up there for 6 or 7 minutes, waiting his turn to land at half-time. And Cronk got it away to Slater. Slater, he's over Billy the Kid. Billy Slater has scored another try.
To be tackled through, mate, just the grounding.
Now they want to check grounding.
Don't you love to see a piece of play, sleight of hand, deception come off? And the inside-outside passing game of Cooper Cronk was always going to be instrumental this afternoon as Billy Slater gets the football down for the Melbourne Storm's second try. It will look beautiful on the Keno replay. Again, like Gareth Widdop did in the first half, held the ball up, waited for the man to run into the hole to take advantage.
Well, there he is, the try scorer, the prolific try scorer, Billy Slater. 140 tries now. 16 for the year. And as I said to you in the opening of this telecast that you're watching live and exclusive on 9, the battle of the number ones, the electric dynamo at the back for Canterbury up against perhaps the best fullback of all time. Smith converts the try, scored by another of the big three, and the Storm lead 10-4. And we've got 7 minutes to go in the first half. Wally Lewis.
And the stadium is alive. A very clever play from Melbourne Storm. The Keno replay showing the precision shown by Billy Slater to run into a perfect gap. There were plenty of other opportunities for the Bulldogs. They had to take each man racing through. The Keno replay shows it perfectly. Slater getting across the line. This game is alive and kicking.
What a magic pass it was from Cooper Cronk.
Yeah, but when you defend Ray, you've got to do so with peripheral vision. And Josh Reynolds, he had no idea Billy Slater was there. He only had eyes for his outside man, who he went up on. And Cronk was able to hold it long enough for the defence to make their decisions, and Slater ran into a hole.
So Melbourne bringing the ball out now to the 30-metre line. They lead 10-4. And we're still some 6.5 minutes from the break. And Melbourne kicking in general play down to Barber, who'll come out of his own 20. No, he won't. He's given it to Sam Perrott. As I said, there's a Black Hawk helicopter circling the Olympic Stadium. On board is the 8th immortal, Andrew Johns, who'll be delivered at half-time and will be greeted by fellow immortals Bob Fulton, Graham Langlands, Johnny Raper, Wally Lewis, and the families of Arthur Beetson, Clive Churchill and Reg Gasnier. But I hope he's got plenty of juice on board up there, because that delay after the Perrott try, the Black Hawk has been saying, where am I going now? What do you want me to do now?
He's not that good with heights either, eh?
Who, Andrew or the Black Hawk helicopter?
I think the ladder's okay. Andrew might be a bit of trouble. Last tackle now, Josh Reynolds.
Reynolds it is, who stabs it this time down in the direction of Slater. He did his damnedest to stop the try of Perrott. It's my belief, though, he pulled out of it as far as anything to do with the feet were concerned. He reduced the amount of danger, but then he's got himself he's in no trouble himself, but James Graham is on an allegation of biting Billy Slater on the ear in the fracas that followed. Manu is on, plays the ball for Melbourne. It comes on to Hinchcliffe, who crosses halfway in the company of Lowry. And Lowry to play the ball 48 metres out from Canterbury's line. And here's Cameron Smith shrugging away a high tackle. Going low is David Stagg. James Graham involved. Pass by Slater to Cronk's boot. And Cronk kicks down towards Barber. Barber takes it safely, but they're going to grab him in goal. Oh, will they? No, he got rid of the ball. Jonathan Wright's got the job to do now. No, it's a line drop out. Brilliant work by Barber. And a great kick and chase from Melbourne.
Wow, what about that for a pass? Talk about give your coach nightmares. They drive him back into the in goal. And alley-oop, out she comes the back, and say, do your best with that, brother. And there's plenty of purple jerseys there. Sika Manu up to make the tackle and force them in goal. And a really crucial period coming up right here now. Great kick from Cooper Cronk again. Good take, Benny Barber. And a bit of adventurism at the back of it.
It's a massive drop kick, and Billy Slater took it some 55 metres down the ground. Jamin Lowe, who says goodbye to rugby league in this grand final tonight. It's gone with Nielsen now, who bumped away from the front marker, only to be tackled by the same man eventually. Smith to Cronk away, picking up Manu. And Sika Manu will play the ball 13 metres away from Canterbury's line. So Melbourne with another chance here, brewing, and it's with Cronk, deep to Lowry, short to Hoffman, who's been threatening on this left side Melbourne attack since the game started. Smith goes from dummy half, gives it to Hinchcliffe, and his legs are cut by Stagg, and then he's tackled over the top by Pritchard. Last tackle Melbourne to Cronk. There's the kick, a grubber. Inu has got it. He's got to find the ground. He's got to find the ground, and he does. He does. That's a good piece of work by Krishnan Inu.
Can't fault his work today in defence and in attack. Krishnan Inu, he's really come to play. And they've been under a lot of pressure there because they're aiming all their attack at young Josh Reynolds, and the defenders inside and outside of Reynolds have really been working overtime to protect and support him.
Tuesday on 9, it's set to sizzle with the all-new Big Bang Theory. 2 broke girls and a knock-on and 2.5 men. The new season kick-off this Tuesday, 8:30 on 9.
Cassiano on that occasion just got through the line and flicked the ball out to Ben Barber in support. And it went to ground. So the final attacking opportunity will go to the Melbourne Storm, and it's a big couple of minutes coming up for both teams. There's the flick, just too far out in front of Ben Barber to gather in.
Yeah, you just wonder whether or not that was necessary. They've been under such extreme pressure, the Bulldogs, and they've been so courageous in what they've done. Melbourne Storm have had 22 opportunities with the ball and completed 21 sets of 6. Talk about bringing your A game to the big day. Wow.
There's Slater coming in off the scrum victory. Chambers is taken 20 metres out. Plays to Buildup and then to Manu. Manu running at the shoulder of Graham, and Pritchard's around the legs, or it's Cassiano this time. So Melbourne, and a chance to put more points on the board at half-time. Lowry's with the ball. You would think with the amount of possession they've had, the completions, that they'd want a bigger lead than 6 points at the break. It's out to Smith, gone behind the decoy, and Cronk puts a kick in. Oh, Justin O'Neill! Justin O'Neill! What a fly! What a fly through the air to make the try.
Well, it doesn't come any better than that from a playmaker. When he comes across field here, and I think it was Cooper Cronk, it was Cronk or Widdett, but I think Cronk. I'm thinking there's any number of players he can pass this ball to. My last thought is kick. It's his first thought, and he absolutely nails it. Absolutely nails it for Justin O'Neill to make the leap. Now that is sheer perfection, courage to make the play, but sheer perfection in the execution. And on the Keno replay, that just doesn't come about by accident. That comes about by years of practice and then self-belief on the big night to come up with a play like that in the shadows of half-time. And they really did bring the Bulldogs' defence up, assuming they would come up and in and create space for the winger down the edge. And then to put it there, O'Neill to make the leap, hold on to the ball despite the attention of Barber, and put it down. Their execution is just exemplary. It is phenomenal to play like this on such a big day.
I would have thought Coach Bellamy at halftime, and I only just uttered the words before the try, he wouldn't have been all that happy with just a 6-point lead, given all those figures that you've been spitting out in the last 5 minutes.
Well, when Cameron Smith got the ball at first receiver, I kind of thought he was thinking field goal, maybe to take it to 7. Maybe he had the same thoughts as you. 6 isn't enough. But they had their set play to the left. They had the courage to go through with it, the brilliance and the professionalism to execute it. And if Cameron Smith knocks this over, it's a long, long way back for the Bulldogs.
The record of comebacks isn't all that bad, though, when behind at halftime. They haven't been behind at halftime that many times, but I'll check that during the halftime break. He's missed it again. Cameron has hooked it across the face of uprights. And so that is the halftime score, 14-4. And the Storm with 3 tries, Hoffman, Slater, O'Neill and Perrott. James Graham is on report. An allegation of biting. Toyota halftime, all the Coles first half action coming up and a nice event coming up as well at halftime. The 8th Immortal arrives. You'll be greeted by Bobby Fulton, Graham Langland, Johnny Raper, Wally Lewis, and the families of the late Artie Beetson and Clive Churchill, and the family of Reg Gasnier. All that when we come back. Back at the grand final, coming to you live and exclusive on the Nine Network, not just around Australia but around the globe. And we certainly welcome you to our telecast from down here in Australia. We have Melbourne, the number 2 place team in the Premiership at half-time, leading the minor premiers Canterbury by 14 points to 4. Cameron Smith then, the captain for Melbourne, leading them back onto the park, looking at some of the stats of what has happened when Melbourne have led at half-time. And David Middleton, our statistician, tells me that the last 38 times when they've led at half-time, they have won 37. That is awesome. Canterbury, on the other hand, when they've trailed on 7 occasions, they've won 4 this season. So it's not beyond Canterbury, and really those figures that you hear us talking about, they just can't keep up, you wouldn't think, at that ratio. 22 completions from 23 sets, Melbourne. 9 completions, 14 sets, Canterbury. And the time in possession is just amazing. 68% of the time the ball has been with Melbourne.
Well, much of the battle of big occasion football is to come to the big show and get your game on. The Melbourne Storm have got their game on. They've played exactly as the way we've seen Melbourne Storm play all season. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, it's nothing like what we've seen them play this year. Now, granted, they haven't had a lot of possession, but even in the possession they've had, we haven't seen the passes strung across the field, or very rarely have we seen Barber come into the action out wide on one occasion, but the ball was knocked down. So the Storm have got their game on. The key at half-time for Des Hasler is to settle the Bulldogs down, have them ignore the 10-point deficit, and get their game on in the second half.
We're right, Rusty.
Cameron Smith starts the second half of the 2012 Grand Final, the Telstra Premiership Grand Final, with 40 minutes remaining, and Graham it is that brings the ball back for Canterbury. Andrew Johns is back on the sideline now that he's been placed back at the Grand Final via the Black Hawk. That must have been an emotional time for you down there.
Yeah, Rabs, it's been a really lovely couple of days. Great for my family to be out there. I've blown away the last 3 or 4 days, but let's talk about the stars of today. I missed the first half.
I know you did. 14-4 then. The score as Jackson is taken to ground. 15 short of halfway, and Ennis goes from dummy half with a scurry. It had Lowry grabbing at him desperately as the ball goes to the blind side for Reynolds to kick, and it goes down. Oh, he's knocked on, Billy Slater.
Knock on.
Well, you've seen it tonight. Barber missed one at the back, and now Slater's knocked on.
I'm not sure he had to attack this the way he did. I mean, he does it all the time. He always goes 100 mile an hour. But there didn't seem to be any urgency for him to get that ball and throw his body on it like that. And he just got his knees and elbows driving into the turf, and that has shaken the ball loose and offered a really good opportunity for the Bulldogs in the opening minutes of this second half. And the Bulldogs have got to get into their rhythm. They've got to get that attacking game flowing so the confidence is restored and they start to believe that they can claw their way back here.
Melbourne then will go on to the defensive as Canterbury win the scrum. And Graham standing at 5'8", and Keating was able to beat Chambers, I think it was, who came up very quickly. And Graham is on the ground. He is haunched over. Played then by Cassiano, and here's David Stagg. And Canterbury appealing for a high tackle.
Don't you come
By
in, don't
Jamin
come in.
Lowe it is.
We've got a penalty there, simple, okay? Penalty.
Don't run in. You've got a penalty. Stay there, Benny.
Oh, the back foot here.
David Stagg taken around the neck by Jamin Lowe. David, I think, still looking for a contract for next year. It's amazing, really, the quality of the player, and I think he's uncontracted. As Ennis goes on to Stagg, and now to Keating, now to Barber. This is Morris with the ball, and Josh Morris is forced back, and look at Melbourne now making ground, even without the football. Keating to Pritchard, and Pritchard will play the ball when let go by Melbourne. In front of the uprights, 15 metres away. It's out with Graham, and he got a short ball away, but Jackson is hammered in defence that seemingly knew that he was coming. Here's Ennis using Reynolds. He beats one, he beats two. He tries to slide through. Reynolds is 2 metres away from the line. Canterbury down by 10. Ennis back to Keating, looking for a kick. It's gone to Barber. Barber has got Cronk one-on-one. He puts a kick in, and it's a line dropout for Melbourne.
Nice work there from Benny Barber. I think Keating wanted to kick, but there was pressure on him, so he threw it to his most dangerous teammate, and Barber did really well here. He zigged, he zagged, he steadied, grubbed it into the in goal, and was able to come and put enough pressure on Slater to knock it dead. So a repeat set of 6 for the Bulldogs. Maybe they can grind the Storm away, as the Storm did to them in the first 20 minutes.
Well-weighted kick by the by the Canterbury fullback. Barber sees Canterbury then with sets back-to-back. And Graham it is that comes up and leads the charge down to the 30-metre line, down the middle of the ground. Ennis comes to the left side. Morris runs a cross over to the right side. Barber joins in. Now Reynolds is with the ball. Got it back into Hoffman, and it's taken there by Canterbury, and I think it's Jackson. Played by him. It's with Inu now. And Krishnan Inu is 3 metres out from the line. Ennis away for Cassiano, and he goes back. A lofted ball to Keating, quick to Barber. Barber over the top to Morris. He ducks under one, and he's pulled down. Melbourne's defence, superb at the moment. Sets back-to-back for Canterbury. Now Keating. Here is Pritchard. Pritchard standing more as a pivot or as a link. He'd love to think he could get back and wind it up. Here's Reynolds now putting a kick up, and it's over towards O'Neill's corner. There's a chance for Jackson. No, he's going into touch at the rate of knots.
Well, that's great defence from the Melbourne Storm. Reminiscent of what we saw from the Bulldogs early in this game. The kick was a nicely weighted one. Sam Perrott flew high. It bounced back the Bulldogs' way. And Josh Jackson, well, his eyes must have lit up here after he got the offload, but that was only until he was confronted by 4 purple jerseys.
I think the referee ruled 6 again here. And the ball will come off Perrott and come backwards. It'll come out to Jackson, but there is a swarm of purple jerseys here, and look at this, they pick him up, march him. Gee whiz, they could have taken him to Circular Quay, Rabbits. They had hold of him, he wasn't going anywhere.
It's a very important call because Canterbury will get another set. So give or take a couple of tackles, this will be their 3rd set. There's Graham launching himself towards the uprights. Ennis gets it on to Cassiano, back to Reynolds, who's beaten Nielsen and got it over the top to Perrott, and Perrott is not beaten, or should I say is taken by Nielsen this time. Jackson works as a pivot, and it's Donald Cassiano, and Sam plays the ball 10 out from dummy half. Reynolds, he's so close to the line, but he's millimetres away from the chalk. Ennis then, very deep, back to Keating, then to Barber, and Barber is taken there by Chambers. Ball hit the ground as he was tackled, and the referee called held. This is the last. Keating gets it to Josh Morris. He puts a little kick in. Slater's going to have to make it dead. Again, it's a line dropout. This will be their 4th set.
Yeah, and again, not a great set of 6 from the Bulldogs, but it's saved at the back end by a good 5th tackle option that's forced to restart. They still can't quite get into their rhythm. This swarming Melbourne Storm defence is getting up very, very quickly and cutting down the thinking time and the action time for the Bulldogs playmakers, and it's just not the Bulldogs attack that we've become used to, and you've got to put that down to the Melbourne defence. The more the Bulldogs can dominate possession at this end, though, maybe they can take a little bit of the energy out of this purple defensive line.
Cameron Smith's drop kick is a good one, 55 metres, and Graham carries the football back as met by Todd Lowry. Played 40 metres out from Melbourne's line. Barber short to Cassiano. And big Sam Cassiano, 130 kilograms. Apparently he's the biggest forward ever to play the game. Stagg, Keating, Barber, Morris, and Morris loses the ball backwards. Zero now is called.
Yeah, I think Sisawanga again got a touch on that. And that's their most productive attacking avenue, this left side for the Bulldogs. And Will Chambers is the key man defensively for the Melbourne Storm. If he comes up and in quickly, he must stick as Pritchard goes centre field on just the second.
22 metres out from the line. Can Canterbury crack through? It's gone back to Barber, and Nielsen comes up quickly and abruptly puts him to ground.
That's great aggression in defence.
Here's Ennis finding Graham. Graham finding Stagg, and Stagg is pulled down 11 metres out from the Melbourne line. Ennis away, and a crashing Cassiano is stopped a couple of metres from the line. 5 gone for the Bulldogs. Ennis, he goes himself, the captain. Has he got the ball down? Referee wants to see it.
Last tackle, please check for grounding. I have an opinion.
He has an opinion, Ben Cummins, but he wants to go upstairs for the video refs to look at it.
Well, he was actually aided here by a fairly slow play the ball, because it took a long time to get all the defenders off Sam Cassiano. And everybody was just in a little bit of disarray. So it's 9 on 9, captain on captain. And the opinion will be that that's held up. That's no try.
He doesn't let go, Cameron Smith. I was looking to see where he was in that play the ball area, because if there was someone going to watch the opposition dummy half, it was the Storm captain, and he got hold of it, and he was never going to let him go.
Well, no try is the ruling. Held up. And it's turnover, 10 metres out from the uprights to Melbourne. So let's applaud the Melbourne defence there. That was the 4th set they were defending against consecutively.
Yeah, and saving tries is as good as scoring them. So Cameron Smith can notch himself up one there. He was alert, got hold of the ball, refused to let go.
25 out from their own line. The ball played by Brian Norrie, it was. Carried 35 metres out by Sikamono and back to Norrie. So the men that Gus calls the foot soldiers, they take it up towards halfway, and here's Cameron Smith with a dart from dummy half. Pulled down by James Graham. Slater dummy half to Cronk, and Cronk goes high. He's testing Barber again. Barber's got it. He runs away from Hoffman. Nielsen's got him though.
And a very effective set of 6 here from Melbourne, as Sam Perrott tries to get outside his man and feed Kristen Inu, which he does. 2 carries from Brian Norrie, 1 from Bromwich and Manu. Cameron Smith out of dummy half, and Cronk kicked. They went the length.
Jackson 35 out from their own line, Canterbury. And here's David Stagg back away to Keating, to Barber, to Morris. And Wonga it was, going in off his wing, making the tackle on the centre 3/4, Josh Morris. The ball has come free. He may, no, he's ordered a knock on. He's ordered knock on.
And high fives here from the Melbourne Storm players. They've been really courageous in defence out wide, because they've been aggressive and thought, well, if the Bulldogs are going to string these passes together, we're going to get up there and knock them down. Hoffman got a hand on that as Stagg tried to unload it. He's got away with one there, but the Storm are virtually saying to the Bulldogs, if you're good enough to get outside us, well, we'll stand and applaud. But in the meantime, we're going to get up there and hassle you as much as we can. And to this point, they've totally stymied the Bulldogs' attack.
Scrum right in the middle of the ground as Slater joins in. Quick play the ball to Smith. Now this is O'Neill, who scored that aerial try right on half-time. Wonderful athleticism by Justin O'Neill. Now Cassiano's
Don't knee him out the road.
put a knee into
Don't knee
him.
him out. I don't need you, mate. He's not going to come in and knee me out of the road.
Malice in it, but it was a nudge with the knee, and he's given away a penalty, so he's fallen off his discipline completely.
In the first half, I said they're crawling forward.
Yeah.
He's holding his leg.
Mate, he's just pushing the knee out, right?
Take two, mate.
Yeah, there's a thing that the Melbourne Storm do in the play the ball area. When they get up to play the ball, they like to pressure the markers. They like to push into them a little bit. And the Bulldogs have been trying to hold their ground on this and hold them back to their mark. And there's a little bit of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Cassiano will make the mark and say, now get up, I don't want you pushing me out of the way. And this is what led to another penalty in the first half. And Ennis has gone to the referee and said, stop them trying to walk off the mark. Cassiano stands his mark and says, I'm not moving. And that was probably a silly play, but that's what the Bulldogs are trying to stop the Melbourne Storm from doing by advancing before they play the ball.
And Smith opting to try and put the side 2 converted tries in front. Doesn't hit the ball that well tonight. 1 from 4. So we'd like to see this one go over, and if not over, dead.
Well, he can get them from a 10-point lead to a 12-point lead. That's a huge difference.
14-4. Melbourne leading. And from 30 metres out, he may have pulled it again. He has. So again, Cameron, his head goes down, and throws the tee away in disgust. He just can't strike it.
It's not the first time he's had kicking woes in grand finals, is it? I remember a couple of years ago he had an absolute shocker. They won comfortably. They scored a stack of tries, but they're going to add up if the Bulldogs can get on the board first.
Slater spun around in the tackle then by the defence of Cassiano. Here's Bromwich with the ball, and he did well. Smith gets it on. Norrie passes, finds Manu. Manu taken by Morris, and he's held just outside the 30-metre line. Sika Manu. Here is Bromwich again, running at Stagg, and Bromwich is 25 metres away from the line. Cameron to the middle. Hinchcliffe goes to the blind, and then Widdop, and now Nielsen. Nielsen is inside the 10. Canterbury stretched to the limits at the moment. Smith again, deep, looking for Widdop, and Widdop goes on to Cronk, and here's the kick, and here comes Wonga. The ball is loose. It's come down to Barber, and he goes to the ground. They pick him up and put him in the tackle.
He surrenders in the tackle, mate.
He is saying that he
doesn't get to the ground. He does not get to ground, mate.
He's saying that he surrendered in the tackle, so the tacklers could go on with it.
He's not on the ground,
Yeah, we've
mate.
seen a number of these over the years where the player goes in and submits in the tackle, and referees have ruled as soon as you put a hand on him, he's tackled. Now Archer is saying he doesn't get the ball to the ground. He submits, but the Storm hold him up.
Not on the ground,
He
mate.
doesn't get the ball to the ground, and now they're quite within their rights to throw him out over the sideline. So good refereeing there by Tony Archer, but real awareness by the Melbourne Storm players of what Barber was trying to do.
He's having a blinder with Chambers. He was the man who raced through and got Barber when Barber offloaded in behind his own line in the first half. They win the scrum, come to short side.
Chambers is with the ball now. Life-threatening experience through the year with a blood disorder, and he's another good story, a feel-good story in this grand final as it comes from Cameron Smith and it goes to Ryan Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe is just 7 metres away, as you can see on that wide shot. Smith again on to Cronk, and Cronk is held by Jackson. Melbourne by 10, and it was coming back towards Smith, and now it's gone back to Bromwich and back to Smith, and quickly it's hot potato football over to Norrie, and Norrie to play the ball on tackle 5. Smith goes to his blindside runners, and Barber is there, so it's a line drop out for Canterbury.
They're perfect. They're absolutely perfect, the Melbourne Storm.
60 minutes tonight, the courageous survivors of the Bali bombings. 10 years on, we celebrate their unbreakable spirit with an unforgettable reunion. A very special must-see episode of 60 Minutes. It's on tonight following the football.
He's getting very frustrated, Benny Barber. The game hasn't come to him the way he'd like, and Melbourne have put a lot of pressure on him there at the back. They've got to turn them away here again, the Bulldogs.
So Inu's kick didn't have the volume of a couple of earlier kicks from him, and Norrie has been superb as he charges back again.
Their skating props have been tremendous. Great meter getters. Bromwich takes it inside the 20. Billy Slater pulled up a bit proppy from that scrum win earlier, but he's moving a bit more freely now as Cronk is claimed by Chris Keating.
15 out from the Canterbury line. As they come away to Manu, and Manu runs the play at Keating. That doesn't surprise me. Smith now sweeps it. Cronk short, Bromwich short, and Melbourne lose the ball.
It's up here, no advantage there.
Manu losing the ball. No advantage, Canterbury. So he'll take it out to the 10-metre line.
It's a scrum, mate.
Might have given you a bum steer there, Ray. And thought it was Sikamanu. In fact, it's Richie Fayoso is out there now. His first touch, not a memorable one.
Gee, the time ticks away quickly, doesn't it? We're down to under 22 minutes left in the game. Still 10-point margin. Bulldogs desperately trying to get some rhythm here.
Sam Perrott taken down. Fayoso took the place of Hinchcliffe. Fayoso, of course, another of the mid-season transfers involved in this game. This period for Todd Lowry at the moment. 30 metres out from the Canterbury line. They've got some work to do, and time is winding down. We've gone past the three-quarter mark of the game. And this is Tolman taking it up to the halfway line. Playing it to Ennis. Ennis to Keating. Keating, he stabs it down, but it couldn't have found Billy Slater in a better way. He's tackled out on the 30-metre line. Melbourne then scoring 3 tries. They scored the first in the game at the 7th minute. One of their pet plays down the left side, and Hoffman took the first try of the grand final. This is Chambers. He's able to fend away from Eastwood, and he's got the ball just into Canterbury territory. Here's Smith, back to Cronk, then a little dummy before finding Manu, and he's held there by Josh Morris and Chris Keating. Talking of Chambers, the doctors were thinking he might have had leukemia. As the ball goes across to Norrie, that's how serious it was for him. A couple of years with Queensland Reds, and then he went to Ireland and played with Munster, but he's had a big fright this year. But he's in the grand final as Cronk puts a kick in. It finds touch. And we will break at the grand final and come back in just a moment.
Tonight's official attendance at ANZ Stadium for the Telstra Premiership Grand Final. There is 82,976.
Go on together. Go on together.
Just wait till it's out. No, Cooper there.
Heads in, Richard. Wait for it, Chris. Ball in, Chris. Ball in. Yeah.
His right, it's a grand final that's attracted a record crowd to the reconfigured stadium. 82,976 is a ground record for Melbourne versus Canterbury at the 2012 grand final. Jackson. Ennis goes on to Tolman. Tolman away to Keating. Keating to Barber. Barber's turned a couple of them around. Barber's down the left side. He kicks to the centre. Josh Morris is after it. Can he get a bounce? Can he get a bounce? No, he can't. It's gone over the dead ball line. The Bulldogs crowd, they went up as one.
Yeah. Well, can you believe that?
Have a look at the Shepherd way back there, mate.
We can't check. I will check
Time
tonight if that's the case.
Benny Barber's got into the backfield, and
You've knocked it on
How have I knocked it on?
because you touched it and it's going forward.
You got to regather, Moz. You got to regather.
Josh Morris was looming up on the inside, just waiting for a bounce. This will look good from head on. Barber finally steps his way through the line. He sees Morris has gone back to the inside. He kicks. He just wants a bounce. He kicks again. Give me a bounce. Nah, terrible bounce. He gets a touch. He knocks it on there. And then Slater will come from behind and doesn't give him the second grab. Beautiful camera work. Look at the desperation in the Melbourne defence. Des Hasler throws his hands in the air. That was a big moment.
And that was reminiscent of the last time they met up in Mackay, where Ben Barber made a break down the left-hand side, kicked deliberately back to his right. On that occasion, Josh Morris regathered and scored. And they were close again.
Nielsen now. Play by Fayoso, and he got a little nudge with the knee in the tackle. So Cameron Smith out on his own 40-metre line, and here is Jesse Bromwich. It's very hard to pull down. Apparently, basically followed his brother to training at Melbourne one day and did something that attracted the attention of one of the junior coaches, and he said, we might have a look at him. I tell you what, he's been a wonderful purchase. That's marked in goal, so it comes out to the 20.
Still got him offside.
And Melbourne have to go back to the 30-metre line with at least 1 foot on that line.
Well, the Canterbury crowd were booing because he wasn't allowed to restart, but he's got to wait for his own teammates to come back on side.
So Eastwood will play the ball now for Canterbury. Coming up towards the 64th minute of the grand final. 16 minutes requiring 10 points. And here they are using forwards to take the ball across the ground. That's touched by Melbourne. It's a knock-on against Melbourne's Dane Nielsen. So Canterbury will get the football.
Well, look how far Dane Nielsen comes up here in defence to cut this off. And this is what I couldn't understand about a lot of teams this year defending against the Bulldogs. When you look at the high shot, they start to string these passes together. Look where Nielsen comes, all the way in field. He reads the one out the back, and he says, if you can get around me, I'll stand and applaud, but I'm going to be here all night. And they're not giving the Bulldogs the room that they've normally had all season.
Now they go down the short side to Krishnan Inu, and he's away from 1 or 2, and then he's picked up and spiraled into the ground by Fayoso. Tolman wants a run. The number 8 for Canterbury. Ennis then looks for Graham. Graham's with the ball. He goes back to Keating, who dummies and tries to go through. Chris Keating, who started the year in New South Wales Cup. He was understudy to Trent Hodkinson, who suffered injury, and now Chris Keating, the kid from Cabramatta, in a grand final, which they're trailing in at the moment by 10. Jackson, he's flung down, 10 metres out. Here's a chance for Canterbury, although it's the last tackle. Barber got an awful pass, got a good kick on it, and up they go. The bat down from Jonathan Wright, and Eastwood has come from nowhere, but I think it might have gone forward.
Hey, hang on.
Of Jonathan
Last tackle,
Wright.
Wardy, check whether it's a knock-on, mate.
It has to have gone forward, surely. It was a wicked pass to Barber, who had to kick on the spur. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they stayed onside. Yeah, they have. You can't give them offside there. Wright will go up, and he's pretty much allowed to punch it back in field, and that's gone forward for sure. What happens after this doesn't matter. There it is. That's a knock on.
Yeah, knock on will be the order against Jonathan Wright. And Greg Eastwood, the elation turns to deflation.
Back
and
on,
no
knock
try
on.
goes up official. So back out
Cameron! Play the ball.
to the 10-metre line for the play the ball in favour of Melbourne.
Time is becoming the enemy now, under 15 minutes to go.
Melbourne, grand final 99, then in 6, 7, 8, 9 and 12. So their 6th grand final. And this would be another grand final victory, but this will be officially for them if they hang on Just their second official premiership. Which I know is a burning thought for a lot of people that follow the Storm. The Storm captain Smith picks it up, and talking of the people that follow them, gee, I tell you what, you're to be congratulated. The crowd you've brought to Sydney to watch your team tonight, it's a tribute to you. Here's Norrie playing the ball, 40 metres out from Canterbury's line. Cronk kicking, and it's just putting a bit of pressure on him. It's going down to Sam Perrott, and then a flying Justin O'Neill. He's so safe, Sam Perrott. And he scored a beautiful try. He scored the only try for the Dogs, but he is so safe. He plays the ball inside the 30-metre line, and Reynolds picks it up and goes from dummy half, and he says play on, so he'll send him back.
Four, mate. Go back and play the ball.
He'll send him back.
Push up, push up. Push up. No, he was right. He was right.
Tackle 4.
So here we go into tackle 5 now, or tackle 4, I should say, with Graham.
Des Hasler getting Frank Pritchard out, one of his attacking men. Josh Jackson leaving the field. James Graham, the second man behind Keating. Chance here down the left.
Barber giving it to Morris. Morris in and away, right, down the left side. There's the kick, but Melbourne are there, and it's with Chambers again.
Well, the desperation is certainly there from the Melbourne defence, isn't it? That time they got outside them, but there was plenty of cover defence coming through, and I think Cooper Cronk has come from infield to get across there and spoil the right kick. That's great desperation from the halfback.
This is O'Neill on the 40-metre line, and Slater gives it to Proctor. Proctor takes Melbourne almost 10 metres into Canterbury's territory. In fact, precisely 10 metres. Here's Fayoso again, and that might have hurt the tackler more than the ball carrier, James Graham, getting up gingerly as Cronk challenges Canterbury out wider. 20 metres out, and there's Widdop kicking for Slater. Slater's coming at 100 miles an hour. There's the bat down. Oh, Brian Norrie has scored in a grand final. Brian Norrie has scored in a grand final.
Well, you called it right when you said that the kick was for Billy Slater. He got a little bit lost on his way through, but he made a late adjustment, did Billy, and batted it straight back. It hasn't been awarded to Brian Norrie, who's been an unsung hero for a couple of seasons for the Melbourne Storm, and along with Jesse Bromwich, has been as good as any player on the field this evening. Gareth Widdop is the kicker. Now, Brian Norrie is in front of the kicker, unfortunately. So he is offside, and it's no try.
Yes.
That is brilliant work from Billy Slater. I know this will be pulled back for no try, but Billy Slater actually watches Ben Barber to know when to leap for the ball. The ball was coming from behind Billy, who was that quick. But he watches Barber's eyes and then leaps up to knock the ball back. A let off for the Bulldogs.
Michael, here.
Let's explain, because we are going to a global audience. The only man that can put you onside is the man that kicks the ball. And the pictures on replay showed that Brian, and I feel sad for the big bloke, it was only his 7th try in a career that Craig Bellamy resurrected when he gave him a contract at Melbourne.
Can we just see that shot again and show you what Billy Slater was looking at when he came forward on Benny Barber? We'll keep up with the action here with a moment. We'll save it. But it shows you how brilliant this Melbourne fullback is.
Greg Eastwood looking for a penalty, and it's gone from Payne. In fact, it's gone back to Payne and then to Barber. Corey Payne in 16. He hasn't seen a lot of minutes through the finals. And that's Finucane, who's only just come on as well. Ennis tries to get them going with Corey Payne, Greg Eastwood, Krishnan Inu. He pushes away there from one, and it's O'Neill who comes again. Canterbury keeping it alive. Reynolds, 10 metres out. 5 tackles gone. So the kick will come from Keating. There it goes. Jonathan Wright's the jumper. And it's gone straight over the top of them, I do believe. It's out on the full.
I got it, Benny.
Yeah, it's not a good kick. The kicker's got to give the chasers a chance.
Over here, mate.
So you need to be getting that coming down on the line, 10 metres in from the touch. So the contest can involve a few of your players.
Let's just go back and have a look at this Billy Slater thing. Watch Billy Slater, how he looks at Benny Barber to see when Benny reaches. As soon as he sees Benny go up for the ball, he knows it's coming down and time to turn. He wasn't watching the ball, Slater. He was watching Barber. They teach that in the NFL and over in America to their defensive ends.
Nielsen, we're inside the final 10. Oh, Hoffman is a little bit lucky that Reynolds went in with a shoulder charge that missed the mark. Cameron Smith is now tackled by Finucane, youngest player in the grand final, Hinchcliffe, and he's held there by Tolman. Right down the middle comes Melbourne, search of their second premiership, and Cronk's kick is taken in the in goal on the full, so it comes out to the 20-metre line, and they all get the...
Still offside, mate.
Well,
Still offside.
The same thing again.
Still offside, mate. Frank Pritchard
was dawdling back. Ben Barber, therefore, was called back by the referee.
Come on, Jesse, up and out.
They've done a good job keeping Benny Barber quiet on kick return, haven't they? Everything's been high in the air or away from him, and the defence arrives when he gets the ball.
There's Reynolds. Just into Melbourne's half of play. Tolman linking, Payne spiralling out of a Norrie attempted tackle, and he's still able to get the ball away, Corey Payne. Keating out to the left side to Barber. Barber inside ball to Morris. Morris steps off his right foot, and he's tackled on the 20-metre line. That's the 4th tackle for the Bulldogs, and now it's gone to Corey Payne again. Josh Reynolds is taken, though, by Gareth Widdop, and he'll play the ball slowly. Canterbury supporters looking for a penalty as Keating floats it to Barber. Barber short on the inside to Morris. He lofts it over the top to Jonathan Wright. He puts in a little kick, and Billy Slater is going to let it go.
Again, very well defended by Melbourne, and when Josh Morris came back on the inside into some space, it was Brian Norrie and Ryan Hinchcliffe there in cover.
Time.
These Melbourne Storm players, they cover each other so well. Just have a look. He's heading back, Josh Morris, and the big number 10 with the utility, Ryan Hinchcliffe, there to save the day in the middle of the field.
But even on the next play, Peter, when they went wide on the next play, Melbourne had got back, got onside, and rushed forward again to cut down. It's been a meticulous display in defence from the Melbourne side. Really aggressive.
This is O'Neill. Now for Bromwich.
There's an old saying, Rabbits, you know, in big games you've got to meet them to beat them. And I think that's what the Melbourne Storm have done today. They've gone up and met the Bulldogs before they can get their game on.
One thing Melbourne have done very successfully is take the crowd out of the equation for the bulk of the contest.
Hinchcliffe is taken then by Tolman. They're 7 minutes out from full time. The minor premiers still trailing by 10 points. And up goes Perrott, and that might... Well, he's ruled okay, and now he's given a penalty to Canterbury.
Oh, you're all over him.
He's penalised him, not for what I thought, though. I would have thought he was still in mid-air, but he's got a penalty anyway for Proctor being all over him. Here's Perrott. No, he might have had a foot back on the ground.
Well, you still get a grandstand finish here if the Bulldogs can manufacture a try. They've got 6.5 minutes left. It's not over yet.
Pritchard away to Payne, now to Reynolds, and he goes on to Barber on the right side of the ground now. Here's Inu, and Inu puts a flick ball on. It's been caught incredibly over there by Sam Perrott. into Eastwood now, and he doesn't quite know what to do with it, so he takes them on. Just inside the 30-metre line. 20 metres in from the eastern side of the ground. Ground record crowd here tonight at the grand final. And the ball to be played here by Tolman. 25 metres away. Now it's with Cassiano. He flicks it out to an unexpected Greg Eastwood, who went back though, and now it's with Reynolds. Reynolds comes to Proctor, circles him, passes to Pritchard, passes to Morris. Coming up quickly is Wonga, and Morris will play the ball 25 metres out from the Melbourne line. Pritchard it is who passes to Reynolds, and Reynolds puts a kick in. Smith makes the tackle. It came off Melbourne surely as they flew high, and 6 more tackles as Barber with the football restarts the tackle count. Here's the chance for Canterbury to maybe rally late in the game. Cassiano charging towards the uprights, and Sam Cassiano with 3 and 4 Melbourne players attracted to him.
Yeah, they look a chance this way if they can get it out.
Payne is with the ball. He does that. Keating's only just got a hand on it, and he's thrust to the ground by Chambers. So Keating, Ennis goes to the right side, and Tolman stutters and plays the ball. Almost a wasted tackle. Ennis for Keating. Keating, a bat on by Reynolds, picked up by Morris. He's tackled 10 metres out from the line. They've got 2 tackles left. Away goes Reynolds from dummy half, and he's tackled 2 metres out from the line. A desperate last ditch here by Canterbury. Morris to Keating. There goes the kick. Cassiano's in amongst all of that, but Widdop comes down with it. And Melbourne have extinguished the attack of Canterbury again.
It's outstanding defence, isn't it? They've just been absolutely relentless with their willingness to come forward.
Nielsen. In fact, it's not Nielsen, but Tolman. Lowry back on for Melbourne. The 2 is Wonga. Smith with a run. Takes Widdop with him.
Melbourne Storm fans at the southern end of the ground are starting to find voice. The flags are in the air. They can feel this might be the end coming, and a much vindicated premiership, official premiership, in their keeping.
So Perrott got a ball out to Barber. Barber's going down the right side and reaches halfway, but that man in the 6 jumper, Widdop, is there to bring him down. Inu passes, Payne links it, Eastwood does the same. Now Ennis drifts across, Keating sweeps in from the back, came off Wonga, and it'll be a knock-on against Melbourne, albeit time-consuming.
Craig Bellamy can't relax, refuses to relax. He's still going. There's still 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
Relax, Craig.
He's sucking on the water bottle. He's handing out instructions.
It's going to be all right.
They're not trying to pack. Time remains off.
The Melbourne Storm fans.
6 grand finals for Craig Bellamy as a player and coach. He's won 3. His Melbourne side inflicted a thrashing in 07 to Manly, and then Manly returning serve. And look at that, a sea of purple flags.
Time back on.
Signifying that they've seen enough, they're confident enough to accept the trophy. But Reynolds it is with other ideas, and he's pulled down again by Widdop. 30 metres out from the line. Inu got a ball away, and now Ennis comes around and gets a ball to Eastwood. He beat Proctor, he beat Hinchcliffe. He's gone inside the 20-metre line, and a good effort by Greg Eastwood. Play it for Michael Ennis, and away they go out wider to Cassiano, and Cassiano unloads to Pritchard. Pritchard flung down, and Chambers it was again with good defence. Tolman short to Payne. Payne is 10 metres out. He puts in a little toe poke, and it's been cleaned up over there by Justin O'Neill, who I think got back into the field of play.
And that's your grand final gone. Craig Bellamy can relax now, and so too all the Melbourne Storm supporters. They will be the 2012 premiers.
This is Chambers. He's had a magnificent game, particularly in defence.
All the outside backs, Ray, have been magnificent in that department. No coincidence that they knocked a few balls down as they were getting up in the face. Nielsen was great on the far side. So to his winger O'Neill, Chambers and Wonga on this side.
I'd be keeping a camera on Craig Bellamy for the full-time suitor here.
So the kick by Cameron Smith. Jonathan Wright picks it up inside the final minute of play. And is it not fitting that the season opened with a ground record crowd at Newcastle at Hunter Stadium on the first day of March, and it's going to close in front of a ground record crowd at ANZ on the last day of September. It's gone to Reynolds now, but they're 10 in arrears, and Perrott it is that's able to make some ground before finding Barber. It's gone on to Inu, he kicks, and Slater it is that eventually puts it into touch. So they won't be, oh, he's relaxed. He's finally let down. And is now able to celebrate this win by a wonderful side. The Melbourne Storm taking the grand final of 2012 as they did in 1999 in just their second year. They had that hiccup, of course, with the 7 and the 9 premierships being taken from them. But if you look at their record since they started in 98, they've been to the grand final 7 out of the 14 years. 14-4 full time, and that, of course, was the halftime score.
And they had a flying start to the season, but then didn't win a game between round 16 and 21. And all of a sudden you thought, well, hang on, are they going to get into the finals? Which they did. Came into this game with 7 straight victories from that time. And I think they've just about saved their best for the last 3 matches. Certainly against South and Manly in the playoffs, superb, and they've carried that on tonight against the gutsy Canterbury side, but a team that really weren't allowed to produce what has been so successful for them all season.
So the on-ground team of Wally Lewis and Andrew Johns will be looking for the people that have entertained us for the last hour and a half. Here's Andrew Johns right now.
With the Melbourne Storm captain, how proud are you, mate, to captain the Melbourne Storm to victory?
Oh, mate. What do you say in moments like this? You know, we it was part of that season there where a lot of people were writing us off, Joey, and this team stuck strong, mate. We just got back to our basics at training and on the field. Mate, it happened. It happened for us tonight. We played against a quality opposition tonight, mate. We got the job done, mate.
You've been through a rebuilding phase. You know, a few years ago, a few down moments at the club. What's it mean to you to be here now after you've rebuilt the club?
Oh, mate, what do you say? I've been asked a few times whether this one, if we won it, whether it'd be sweeter than the others, but I guess there's a small spot that says yes. But, yeah, mate, winning the grand finals, that's just what you aim for. But, you know, the congratulations has got to go to the club and the coaching staff. You know, we were gutted a few years ago, mate, with our players, and you know, morale wasn't at its highest that it's ever been. But we built this club back up, and last year we nearly got there. This year we didn't. We made it count, mate.
Go and enjoy it. Over to you, Freddie.
Thanks, Joey. Mate, can you put words to how you're feeling at the moment?
Yeah, mate, just lost for words, mate. Gutted. It's been such an enjoyable year, and to go out like that's just devastating, mate. But mate, I mean, take the emotion out of it, mate. I'm just so proud of our boys and where they've come from, mate. They should really hold their heads up high. They've really turned the corner at this club, and you know, we're going to be around for a few more years yet.
The 70% ball possession, just too much to claw back from the first half.
Yeah, mate, our defence was brilliant in the first half, but just too many unforced errors, and just allowed a good side like Melbourne into the game. And I thought 10 points at half time, was a credit to our defence, but honestly, I thought we had a chance to come back there, but full credit to Melbourne, mate. They're a good side and they deserve it, mate.
Sure you want to be with your teammates, mate. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Wally.
Thanks, mate. I'm with Billy Slater. Billy, that was one special performance from your boys.
Oh, it was, Wally. It was, mate, premierships are won on defence, and, mate, our boys, that's what we built our game on. You know, since I've been at the club and since Craig's been at the club, and today, it was special. Defence, mate, defence. That's all I can say. Both teams defended pretty well. There wasn't too many points scored in it. And, full credit to our boys. They just kept turning up. There's so many elusive players in that side, and our boys just kept turning up.
It did appear as though you just simply frustrated the Bulldogs out of the game. The defence up the middle was unbelievable. Could you notice any frustration in the Bulldogs' attack?
Oh yeah, well, we knew what they were going to throw at us, and we come up with a plan to shut it down. So, their big play out wide, we need to get our line speed up there and put a bit of pressure on their ball players, even though they were forward. So, full credit to our coaching staff that come up with the game plan, and the boys just executing it so well. Like I said, our defence was exceptional tonight. There was one try scored, and that was probably from me being out of position, but I think the coach will forgive me for that.
Well, congratulations, mate. Wonderful performance. Back to you, Raps.
Okay, Wally, thank you for that. Brad Fittler as well, Andrew Johns as well. It's been a busy night for him. Andrew Johns, the immortal, but he got the job done. We'll take a break, and when we come back, of course, it'll be the presentation of the Telstra Premiership Trophy for 2012.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed a champion team here this evening take out the NRL Premiership. A round of applause for the Melbourne Storm. Also, thank you, Canterbury-Bankstown, for supplying so many great memories for this year and also helping to provide a great atmosphere here this evening, one of the best grand final atmospheres you've ever witnessed. So congratulations also to the Dogs. Round of applause. I'd like to welcome the official party, Shane Matisky, the interim CEO of the Australian Rugby League, Kate McKenzie, the Group Managing Director, Telstra Innovation Products and Marketing, the New South Wales Premier, the Honourable Mr Barry O'Farrell MP, John Grant, the ARLC Chairman, and Joyce Churchill. Also, welcome to the stage the Telstra ring bearers from the Sydney Children's Hospital. Really big night for these kids. Congratulations for being a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, first up this evening, the Clive Churchill Medal winner. I'd like to invite Joyce just to come over by, stay where you are, yeah, yes, that's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Cooper Croc. Congratulations, Cooper. You are a great player, and you had a wonderful year and a wonderful game.
Thank you very much. First, I'd just like to thank Canterbury-Bankstown Football Club. Outstanding achievement, Des Hasler and Michael Innes. Thank you very much. No doubt you've achieved a lot this year, so congratulations. To all the fans, sponsors of the game, you make this. You guys are what makes this game special to play, and thank you very much. To the Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club, hey boys, it's a real pleasure to play with you guys. You are my mates, and thank you very much for a tremendous performance. Thank you very much, guys.
Well done, Cougar. Rothman's medal winner, or rather the Clive Churchill medal, going back too many years there. Ladies and gentlemen, the runners-up for this year, the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs. Would you please welcome to the stage the captain, Michael Ennis, to receive their medals, to be followed by his players. Congratulations to you, Michael. Terrific season. Just fell short at the end. I'd like to invite the players up on stage at the same time as Michael responds.
Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Craig Bellamy, all their staff and their players. They really are a great football side, and congratulations to you guys tonight. Well done. I'd like to thank all the sponsors, Telstra, Gary from JCar, Doltone House and all the sponsors. I'd like to thank all the members and supporters that have made this such a special season. I'd like to thank the board of directors and all the staff. I really thank Des and the staff. They've done a tremendous job with this football team, and I'm so proud of where the boys have come and where we've got to, albeit a disappointing end. To the marketing and admin staff, they've done a terrific job for us this season, and this club's in great stead at the moment, and we'll certainly be back next year. I'd like to thank the family of all the players. So much has gone into this season and so much commitment and dedication from everyone involved, and at times it's very time consuming, and I thank you for your patience, and we're really grateful. And last but not least, I'd love to thank my players. They've been courageous this year. They were courageous in defeat today. And I'm so proud of the boys and where they've got to, and we've really built a great playing group there, and we're certainly going to be back next year. Thank you.
Round of applause once again for Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs. Well done. Thank you very much, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, now to the referees and touch judges. Would you give them a round of applause as they come up and accept their medallions for being a part of this terrific night? Fellas, they really love you. It's just the way they show it. And now, the spoils of a wonderful season. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the stage the captain of the Melbourne Storm, Cameron Smith. I'd like now to invite Shane Matisky and Kate McKenzie to present the trophy to the winning captain. Enjoy the moment. You've done it before. You've had that well rehearsed. Congratulations to you, Cameron. You have had a terrific season, as has anybody who's made this grand final, and well done to your team.
Thanks, Kenny. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone that came out to the match today. You certainly supplied a great atmosphere, not only for the Bulldogs, but for us too. So thank you for coming out. Everyone in the purple. That's an outstanding effort, guys, to make the trip up to Sydney. You're at Amy Park every week, guys, and you travel away with us to all our away games. We love you all. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Next must go to the Bulldogs, Des, Michael, and all the boys. Thank you for a great game. I think all the fans enjoyed it. Everyone at home on TV would have loved that match. It was a tight affair. You boys have been a great football side all season. You've well deserved the minor premiership. We've had great battles all throughout the years, boys, so well done. Next, I'd just like to thank our sponsors, Crown, Suzuki, and all of our other partners for their support this year. You guys have been outstanding. Thank you to our staff. all the administration back in Melbourne, our coaching staff led by Craig, obviously. All of your sprays have paid off this year, mate. Thank you to all of our medical staff for getting the boys right. To all of our partners and families and the kids, you guys are amazing. You've had to put up with a bit this year, so thank you for your support, guys. We love you. And lastly, to all of these players over here in the purple jerseys and the grey suits. Boys, you've been outstanding this year. We started really well, but then we hit a rough spot. A lot of people were doubting where we're going to finish this year, but we hung tough. We trained really hard. We just stuck solid down there, and we got the rewards. To all the boys moving on, all the very best to you and your families, boys. We've loved you being down at the Melbourne Storm. Good luck for the future. The big Jamin Lowe, who's hanging up the boots this year, mate. Congratulations. What a way to go out. You've been a big part of our success this year, mate. Thank you. And how good's that feeling? Can't wait to get back to Melbourne. We'll see you down there. Woo!
Go on you, Cameron. Okay, the team now. 1 through. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Slater. Sisawaka. Dane Nielsen. Will Chambers. Justin O'Neill. Gareth Widdop. Cooper Cronk. Jesse Bromwich. Cameron's already with us. Brian Norrie. Sigamanu. Ryan Hoffman. Todd Lowry. Ryan Hinchcliffe. Kevin Proctor. Jamian Lowe. Richard Paso. Ladies and gentlemen, the Melbourne Storm, also Craig Bellamy, the coach. Warm round of applause for a fabulous team on a fabulous year. Congratulations to them all. And the coach has got a smile like he swallowed the canary. Well done, Craig Bellamy. I'd like to thank the official party. Thank you very much for being a part of this. It's been a tremendous grand final. We've enjoyed so many terrific moments, and these guys really deserve the presents and the prizes that are coming their way. Once again, a round of applause. The team photograph, the champions, the Melbourne Storm. And the coach. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Safe journey home.